we're going to look at some things on the home page. We've covered this and these things up here. On the media thing, this is the video section, not working. So as you can see, it just takes you up to a page that doesn't work. So that's the video section. Everything else in here, as far as I can tell, all works. What I would say is, I know that this bit of text here changes, but you don't actually, like for instance, if you go into like nursery, and we click this and goes up, although this changes, I didn't actually notice that this changed for a long time, so I don't know if there's something they can perhaps be done with that, because I think it is quite a good feature. But I just think that because when you press nursery and then you go to nursery team, I think that the next thing that you're going to actually be drawn to is, I think that you would come down and scroll down, and I think you would actually miss that this actual topic sentence type thing up here is actually there, so it might be something to think about. However, where will we go? Let's look at the home page for now. And okay, these images here, there's a thing called affordance, which I talk about, and that's that if you've got like a door handle, you know that you can pull that, because that's what it is. You know that you can turn a tap, but these images here, you don't know that they do anything. And I would be quite, I think a lot of people would miss this out and just land here and not actually see that you can click on the picture. So I would be tempted to almost put this up like very, very, very grey or something like that, or just to have the actual more button or something there, just so that you would get the idea of when you scroll over this that you would actually see the image getting bigger. I don't know if this is intentional, but you've got like a 1, 2, 3 here, which actually I quite like. There is a thing in graphics, which is if you've got like this picture here, it is like a kind of a side-on picture, and you don't have them when you've got a face-on picture. That's just, it doesn't really look right. And yeah, these things at the top here, it doesn't really sit on, that doesn't sit on top of the background, and it doesn't do that for any of them. It would be something that I would change personally, because it just doesn't work. I think you almost have to make that like even if you put like a kind of a white stripe there or something and put that on top of it, because that just does not sit on there nicely enough. Also, I think that the nursery is darker than the primary and the secondary, just the text of it, just because it's going on top of this young lady's dark hair. So I think that, and I would make all of these darker, if not changing that other thing. Down here as well, what we have is, if you look at, like for instance, where the distance from the photograph taken of her head and her head, I would say that's quite close. Obviously this one's a wee bit closer than this one, but the one in the middle is just really far away, so you're getting the whole body shot. So what you have is then you've got 3 different pictures, and they're just different distances apart, and I think you could quite happily use that picture but zoom in on it a wee bit more, or do something with it. The other thing with these 3 pictures working together is that this young lady here has got a table, and this young guy's got a table, and it almost creates like a white line in the bottom of the 3 different pictures, which makes the end picture look as if it shouldn't be there, or look as if they should have a white line across the bottom of it. So that's something for me that it makes it look a wee bit odd. It's almost like in the old disposable pictures I used to get, the ones that printed out, they always had like a white bit at the bottom of them, so it looks as if it's missing from this one. And what else? Don't like this term. Children learn more effectively with top class teachers in small classes. But I don't know, I think there's something about that. I think that should be really, have your child learn the fun way or something like that. I think it should be a wee bit punchier. So that's where I would go there. What else do we have? Okay, when we come to here, this is what I mean by there's nothing in that text there when you look at that screen that stands out at all. It's very, very flat, and there's nothing really that kicks out. There's certain things that have been written here, like at the bottom, with our support firm, how family ensures that any disciplinary or behaviour issues are spotted and resolved quickly. That to me actually says, that puts it in the mind of the reader that there is a problem there, and therefore there's things like that that you wouldn't have. Also, I would take out small school as well, because For me, I don't think that really sells anything there. Could be wrong. Now what else did we notice here? Yeah, these hyperlinks, I wouldn't have them underlined. It's not something that you do. It looks a bit weird. When we come down here, what we have is this button here should be the same level as these two, and as well as that, if you've got a news archive, now for instance, October the 4th, that was, well, yesterday, but it was published, this is still saying blog archive, like these are in the past, and you want people to actually click on these things to actually read what's going on in them, so therefore why have it as blog archive and news archive? I would have that as latest news or just news and blog. And also, when you get an image, you get the impression that you should be able to click something and have it open up. There is a problem over here with the Fernhill events, with all of these events, which is when you click on them, they open up and the page looks like, it's all kind of a gobbledygook. There's something happened there with the formatting of the page, so that's certainly worthwhile looking at. And that's exactly the same. I've written this in the, if you go to the calendar section, if you go to the calendar section up here and you go to an event as well, this will open it up. Doesn't matter if you click on it right or the left, it opens it up like this, so that's obviously a problem. Coming down the page, we come to, so your Fernhill events, these lines here as well, I would have them squared. I would have the bottom line squared up and this all squared up as well. And then, so yeah, you've got your Fernhill school here with the actual address, but because you're hitting schools in Glasgow, it's important to have Glasgow in the actual address there. And then, so yeah, that's what you should have there. And you should also have, you've got your copyright Fernhill School 2011 here, so you should update that. The other thing that I've mentioned is about the actual structure of the website. Now say for instance we go to primary experience. Up here in the address we've got Fernhill School /index.php page primary. Now that for me should be /primary school. And much the same way, actually, if you look at the way that Barry's done it in his own website, when you go into, for instance, I'll pick one of these, pick one, SEO, so that goes into web design, SEO tips. Just for me, it looks better just by having the actual static address. I think if you're going to send somebody a link to something, it looks better if it's got, if it's not got the index.php. I think it looks better if it's got a standardized thing. So that's all for now, and I hope that helps somehow.